High in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, tucked along Chalk Creek Canyon, sits a town that refuses to disappear. Its wooden storefronts still face the dirt road. Its false front buildings still stand against heavy snow. And when the wind moves through the valley, it sounds almost like footsteps. This is St. Elmo. Founded in 1880 during Colorado's roaring silver boom, St. Elmo began as a railroad town at the time. The Denver, South Park and Pacific Railroad pushed narrow-gauge tracks deep into the mountains, chasing mineral wealth wherever it could be found. Where the rail stopped, towns rose, and St. Elmo rose quickly. Originally named Forest City, the settlement was soon renamed after a popular novel of the time. It grew almost overnight. Prospectors flooded into the surrounding hills, drawn by the promise of silver and gold hidden in the mountains above. By the mid-1880s, St. Elmo was thriving. Nearly 2,000 people called it home. There were hotels, saloons, general stores, a telegraph office, a schoolhouse, and churches. Freight wagons rattled down the main street. Miners moved in shifts. Train whistles echoed off granite peaks. In winter, snow buried the town under several feet of white, but life continued. Supplies came by rail or left by rail. As long as the mines produced, St. Elmo survived. And for a time, they produced well. The Mary Murphy Mine, one of the most productive in the area, brought steady wealth into the town. Silver veins carved through the mountain, and the profit supported businesses along Main Street. But like so many boom towns of the West, St. Elmo's prosperity depended on something fragile: metal prices. When silver prices began to fluctuate in the late 1880s and early 1890s, the town felt it immediately. Investors pulled back mines, slowed production, some closed entirely. The panic of 1893 struck like a hammer blow. Silver prices collapsed. Across Colorado, mining towns faltered. In St. Elmo, optimism faded into uncertainty. Families left storefronts, emptied the railroad. Once the town's lifeline, reduced service as freight declined. By the early 20th century, the boom had cooled to a simmer, and then slowly to silence. In 1922, the railroad line service in St. Elmo was abandoned. Without regular trains, isolation returned with a vengeance. Supplies became difficult to move, or shipments dwindled to almost nothing. The population shrank to a handful of stubborn residents. By the 1930s, St. Elmo was, for all practical purposes, a ghost town. But it never fully died. Unlike many mining camps that burned or were dismantled for lumber, St. Elmo remained largely intact. Buildings stood weathered, but upright. The general store still held its counters. The saloon still faced the road as if waiting for customers. And then came the stories. Every ghost town develops them eventually, but St. Elmo's legends cling tightly to its empty structures. One of the most enduring tales centers around a woman named Annabelle Stark. Annabelle arrived in St. Elmo in the 1890s with her brother Tony, who worked as a telegraph operator and station agent. The Stark siblings lived in an apartment above the general store near the center of town. When Tony died, suddenly in 1922, Annabelle refused to leave. She remained in St. Elmo long after nearly everyone else had gone, becoming one of the final residents of the fading town. Visitors described her as reclusive, fiercely protective of her property, and deeply attached to the buildings around her. It said she fed chipmunks daily from her porch, that she wandered the empty streets at dusk, that she spoke to the wind, as if expecting an answer. Annabelle died in 1960, but according to local lore, she never quite left. Visitors to St. Elmo have reported strange occurrences inside the old general store. Objects slightly move, doors creaking when there is no wind. The faint sound of footsteps on the wooden floor above. Some claim to have seen a figure watching from an upstairs window, a silhouette against the glass that vanishes when approached. Others describe the feeling of being observed while walking down the quiet street, especially near the Stark residence. There are stories too of phantom lights flickering in the distance, near the old railroad grade, as if a train were approaching long after the tracks have been gone. Of course, skeptics point to natural explanations. Old wood shifts with temperature changes. Wind funnels through mountain passes. Wildlife moves silently between structures. And yet, St. Elmo feels different after sunset. When the tourists leave and the mountain air cools, the silence deepens. The buildings, preserved but empty, seem to hold their breath. The town no longer feels abandoned. It feels paused, like a place waiting for something that never arrives. Perhaps what lingers, St. Elmo, isn't a single spirit. Perhaps it's memory. Towns like this once pulsed with urgency. Every resident arrived chasing opportunity. Every business depended on tomorrow being better than today. When that hope collapsed, it didn't fade gently, it snapped. That kind of emotional energy leaves an imprint. Today, St. Elmo remains one of Colorado's best preserved ghost towns. Its wooden sidewalks still crake under careful steps. Its storefronts still bear painted names faded by more than a century of long weather. In winter, snow drapes the buildings in silence, erasing modern footprints and making it easy to imagine the town exactly as it was in 1885. A train whistle in the distance, a miner stepping into a saloon, a storekeeper counting coins by lamplight, and perhaps upstairs, a woman watching from a window, determined not to let the town vanish completely. St. Elmo never became a great city. It never reinvented itself as an industrial center. It simply rose with silver and fell with silver. But unlike many boom towns swallowed by fire or time, St. Elmo stands as a preserved echo of the Old West, wooden, weathered, and quietly enduring. A place where history doesn't just live in books, it stands in front of you. And when the wind moves through Chalk Creek Canyon, brushing against empty doorways and rattling loose boards, it carries with it the faint reminder of what once was. The laughter, the ambition, the greed, the hope, and maybe, just maybe, the footsteps of those who never truly left.